I wanna leave the light on when we're falling asleep. Try to keep my eyes open when you're next to me. I just can't get enough of you, baby. I don't mind when you leave, 'cause I know you're coming back. You're coming back. You're so good to me. You're so good, 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 good. Know what I need. I can't believe you're so good to me. Never felt so understood. How can you be so good to me? I was a Main Street girl, a small town kid, smoking under bleachers, doing small town shit, pushing 85 in the middle of the night with the headlights off, floating on the back roads down a river roping off.
Eva Cassel, look at you.
Hello.
How are you doing? Look at that compound. So colorful, guitars in the walls, photos of veterans in the walls, amplifiers. I love that.
Those are my dad's parents.
Wonderful. Love it. Love it. I mean, so Eva, I have to tell you, and I have to tell my audience, obviously earlier in the summer, we went to a special backyard show here in Nashville. It included some great talent, including friends of our show, Leah Blevins and Katie Pruitt. And every act, for my audience that doesn't know, they would play about 4 or 5 songs or so, and it was a great chill atmosphere. But there was one act that came in, and with the most awesome fashion, by the way. And as soon as she started singing, people just kind of froze in their tracks. They stopped eating their pizza, looked around, sat down. And that talent, ladies and gentlemen, is Eva Cassel, California native, and she is here on our show today.
Wow, can you introduce me all the time?
Well, listen, it is what it is, Eva. And of course, Eva's EP Spaces You Crawl in Between, it's been out since 2020, and the latest single, So Good, out since May. So Eva, how is your summer going?
It's going well. It's going well. I'm excited to kind of get back-ish to normal, and been playing some shows like we just discussed. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, that was a fun afternoon, wasn't it?
It really was. Yeah, it was very wholesome, and just the community, the sense of community at that show was really, really awesome.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was one of those afternoons that make Nashville so magical, I guess, Eva. You know, but Eva, let's start with this. I mean, you're from California. You're from the San Francisco area, and your dad instilled in you a phrase that really resonated with us. And it's and I quote, "The most terrifying experiences are the most rewarding." And I mean, that is such a gorgeous phrase, and really it can have a profound effect on the way one lives your life, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I really struggle with anxiety a lot of the time, and I have come to realize that when I'm anxious about something, a lot of the time that just means that it's really important to me, and that's not
Sure.
necessarily a bad thing, and that kind of helps me to keep it in check, and also to take risks because it's worth it. And if you take a risk and fall on your face, then you're going to learn from that. So I don't want to just play it safe.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people, learned that from last year, and some others didn't. But it emphasizes the point, and it's great of everything that you've achieved is, jumping to the unknown, from Half Moon Bay to the unknown, I would say.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love it, Eva. So, more than a singer, I have to tell you, you're like a wordsmith. I mean, the way you play with words is just unbelievable. Whether it's in songs like Nothing or Untouchable and many others, it's just breathtaking. Eva, you have described yourself as a word nerd. Where did this love affair with words and the English language come from? Like, how old were you? Like, were you like a book? Like, how did it happen?
Yeah, so I mean, ever since I could talk, I was making up songs. Of course, when I was that young, they were all like the bluebirds in the forest and the princess, blah blah blah. But it really started with poetry,
Hmm.
and my mom is really into poetry, and a lot of the books that she read to me as a kid were written in rhyme and verse um, I just have always been a total word nerd, and I used to, before I could actually write, I would make up poems and then have my mom write them down before I even knew how to spell or
Really?
write anything. Yeah. So I had this little
Wow.
book that my mom would kind of be my scribe and write down my poems that I made
Okay, that's insane. That's not normal, Eva. That's like then that's like the universe being like, okay, like that's your purpose, that's your
up.
gift.
Right.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, we love that. And from an early age, obviously, it was clear what your path was, like we're talking about. And then you start private guitar lessons, like when you're like around 10, with John Angle there, and you moved into into like a classic rock band that he led, and you were like 10 years old, right?
Yes. Yes, that is
Okay, can we
right.
can we just like pause for a second? Like you're 10 years old and you're playing in a classic rock band with your teacher John Angle. Like, wow, Eva.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I'm really grateful that my some of my first experiences with guitar were in that kind of classic rock world. We were playing Zeppelin songs. We also played a lot of Stevie Wonder. We played some Steely Dan. Just like a really really awesome introduction into music and guitar playing especially. And I ended up kind of like floating around to different instruments.
Right.
And if the drummer couldn't show up one week, I would just be like, "I'll do it,"
No way. I love that. So you have an amazing ear then.
I think I was born with a good ear, and then I've just worked on developing it more.
That's incredible. I love that. I love that story so much, Eva. Like, I don't think there's been a story like that before. I love it. No, it's true. It's true, but it's wonderful. And you start drums, you start playing the piano as well. You actually taught yourself the piano, right?
Yeah, I did. I did. I mean, I was shown the basics at one point. I started off just playing the white keys, leaving a finger in between, or a key in between each finger,
Right.
figuring it out. But yeah, I would just sit at the piano for hours and
Unbelievable.
just kind of make things up as I went.
Unbelievable. I mean, you're making all of us that like found their purpose later like look bad, but we get it. It in their own time. But yeah, I mean, and of course, this actually translated into like acting, like Broadway kind of stuff as well, because you are in Half Moon Bay High School, and you actually like get into like a Les Miserables, like into one of like the main roles, right? You did a Eponine or something. Like that's
Yep,
amazing.
that is right. That is right. That was the highlight of my musical theater career.
How was that? That's awesome. That's a big role.
It was amazing, and I had just gone through a teenage breakup at the time, and
Hmm.
I remember just being very emotionally connected to singing on my own.
Sure.
I think he even came to see the show, and it was like exactly the drama that my like 16-year-old heart
Oh
needed.
wow. Like the scene where you die, where the character dies, must have been really like, channeling that heartbreak. Super
Yeah,
intense.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And my friend's little brother was oh shoot, now I can't remember his name, but whoever Eponine is in love with was played by my friend's little brother. So
Oh wow.
that
Talk
was
about some
fun.
drama. That's like the OC style drama. I love it.
Yeah.
Look at
It
that.
was great. It was great. Yeah, for a small, I mean, my high school is 1,000 kids, and Half Moon Bay is a really small town, and I think it's really amazing that we pulled off a show like Les Mis. I mean, that
Yeah.
was by far the most ambitious show
Amazing.
that we had done.
What a spirit you are, Eva. We love it. Okay, so there's a story that you've told 1,000 million times, and I apologize to ask to tell it 1,001 million times. but my audience will find this. It's such a great story. So you obviously you go to Berkeley School of Music, obviously world renowned Berkeley School of Music, but you had this really cool encounter one day with John Mayer, right? Like John Mayer comes to your class and he basically critiques one of your songs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he actually, it was a whole songwriting clinic. So a bunch of songwriters, or I think it was 5 or 6 songwriters were selected to perform in front of him in the Berkeley Performance Center, which is like our big, auditorium. Um, and so I was lucky enough to be one of those songwriters who was selected. I actually moved to Nashville already.
Oh, you were in Nashville already. Okay.
Yeah, so I graduated and then moved to Nashville almost right after graduating.
Uh-huh.
Because one of my professors had got me this internship at a pub company, and so I was
Sure.
like wanting to go. And he emails me and says, "Hey, are you around on this day?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm in Nashville. Like, I'm doing the internship that you got me. What are you talking about?" And he just responds casually. He's like, "Well, John Mayer's coming to town. I just wanted to know if you wanted to play a song for him, but no worries." I was like, "Okay, bought my plane ticket. I'll see you there."
Wow. Okay. Yeah, sure.
So I flew back, and yeah, it was that was one of those experiences that was totally terrifying, but one of the best, most rewarding experiences of my life. And I barely remember the performance because I was so hyped up on adrenaline. Um, and I played a song called Pretty Girl,
Mm.
and it was all about, you know, the premise of the song is saying, what's it like to be a pretty girl? Do you still think that you're not beautiful just like I do? And kind of just talking about a lot of insecurities. And I finished my song, and John freaking Mayer is like, "Well, first of all, you are a pretty girl."
Oh my
Um,
God. That's it. Uh-huh.
I was like, "All right, I can die now. I can die now. I'll die happy because,
Mhm.
wow." I mean, but in all seriousness, he liked the song too, which was the real.
Yeah, of course you're an amazing songwriter. Why wouldn't he? Sure.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and he had some good tips. He gave
Mhm.
me some really good critique, and
What
yeah.
did he tell you, for example, Eva, if you don't mind sharing? Like what
Oh
does
my.
John Mayer tell a Berkeley, graduates rising Nashville star? Like what's the feedback there?
Yeah, so the main piece of feedback that he had was first of all, he said the song works because you always start with positive feedback. He said the song works so well because it's posed as a question, instead of saying, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and "Boo-hoo, poor me, I'm over here not being beautiful." It's like, tell me what it's like to be beautiful is so much more
Mm,
heartbreaking because it's not a sob story. It's not whiny that way.
yeah.
Um, and I remember him saying, like, how tragic is it that you would go up to someone and say, "Hi, can I ask you some questions about how beautiful you are and what that's like for you?" So that really struck me and made me feel like,
Oh,
okay, I'm doing
sure.
something right. And then he also suggested, so the chorus is kind of sandwiched by um, "Tell me what it's like to be a pretty girl." So that's the first line of the chorus and the last line of the chorus,
Love that.
and he suggested that I say something else in the first part and only leave that line for the very last line of the chorus.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, like, what's it like to walk around being so beautiful, or something phrased better than that? Blah 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 blah. Very end. What's it like to be a pretty girl?
Oh, that's great. That's great feedback. Very and very elegant. Very, yeah, wow, that's next level. Good.
Yeah, yeah. I was so impressed and just so happy to hear him talk about the way that he thinks about songwriting.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you wonder, like, is this person just naturally magical and talented, and they just like
Hmm.
come up with these songs just out of nowhere? And he is so meticulous and thoughtful about his writing.
Sure.
And it was just really cool to hear him kind of break down his process and hear his thoughts on everyone's songs. It was like
I
he's
love that.
really smart.
Yeah, and I mean, and that goes to show like your songwriting is so great, Eva. Like, and I wanted to ask you about your process because you have this like great balance on it, right? Like, and I think that's part of it, like what the John Mayer story. But do you have like a trusted team? Like, who's your team who you go to and you're like, hey, like, did I overdo this emotion or is this like just right? Like, who's your circle if you have one?
Yeah, so I have a couple people. I have a couple friends that I will ask to review songs, but I've also learned through trial and error that it's not helpful for me personally to ask too many people
Yeah.
because those can kind of get into that people pleaser mode
Yes.
sometimes. You just can't make everyone happy
No.
or
Right.
happy, but especially with some kind of art form. So nowadays, it's mostly my boyfriend, who's also a songwriter and guitar player. And our styles are very different, but I think
Hmm.
that actually makes our critique of each other's songs really interesting.
Sure.
Um, so he's the main person that I go to, but also my producer Jeremy Bernstein, who's amazing, um, and a couple other songwriter friends.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that, Eva. Well, you're being so awesome with your time. Thank you, Eva. And I know there's like a rumor that you may play a little song for us, but I have to ask you, Eva, about your fashion because you are like a low-key fashion like Nashville icon, I think. I don't think you realize this, but you have such a unique style. It's awesome. And not just when I met, but like from all the research, like you have such a great style. Tell us a little, I mean, just now you have like such a beautiful like tapestry of fashion. My audience doesn't see it, but too bad. You have to check out the video version. Tell us a little bit about like you, fashion, your image. Obviously, it comes from like your soul because it's so authentic. Just like tell us a little bit about that, Eva.
First of all, that is so awesome. I'm so flattered, and that's like my dream. So thank you for saying that. I honestly, since I was a little kid, I when I was really young, I just loved wearing princess dresses. I would wear
Mm,
princess dresses to the grocery store. I just needed to be in something fabulous and sparkly and like pink usually. I was a total girly girl. Um, and then I had a couple friends in, elementary, probably more middle school time of my life that were really into going to thrift stores. So
gotcha.
we would get one of our parents to drive us, and we'd just do a circuit of thrift stores, and we'd try and find really cool pieces. And I've just continued to do that. I love going to thrift stores and just like sorting through tons of stuff.
Cool.
And yeah, I just get a lot of joy out of it, and I think fashion is just such a cool way to um, express myself. And I feel so good when I find something funky
Mm,
that really makes me feel like everything internal is now external, and you can see like
sure.
how I want to present myself, and I feel like it's such a good conversation starter almost, because I'm just like, this is who I am. You can see it, you can hear it. It's just, it feels good to find something that really feels like me.
I mean, it's great. I mean, we need more Eva Cassels in the world, just painting the world with color. That's kind of what you do here in Nashville. So
Oh, thanks.
we love it. We love it, Eva. So yes. So there's a rumor you may play a little ditty for us. Is that an accurate thing?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Amazing.
is. I've got
Amazing.
a guitar right next to me here.
I mean, you have like four guitars right next to five.
I
Look
do.
at that.
Well, I can't take credit for all of them. Some of them are my boyfriend's, but this is um,
Beautiful.
commonly known as Ol Yeller or Rex.
Nice. Is that your go-to?
This is my go-to. I used to play mostly acoustic,
Hmm.
and then I found this Strat, and
Everything
everything
changed.
changed. It was a game changer for
I
me.
love it.
Yeah.
Awesome, Eva. Well, great. What are you gonna play for us?
I'm gonna play "So Good," a
Nice.
song that I put out back in May.
Awesome.
This is just a really fun, feel good, kind of summery song, so I think it's appropriate.
Thank you, Eva. Can't wait.
All right. Make sure this is a good level. Can you hear that all right?
Yeah.
All right.
sleep, try to keep my eyes open. When you're next to me, I just can't get enough of you, baby. I don't mind when you leave, 'cause I know you're coming back. You're coming back. You're so good to me. So good, 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 good. Know what I need. I can't believe you're so good to me. Never felt so understood. How can you be so good to me? Oh, I keep on getting lost in those sunflower eyes, laughing like a kid, losing track of time. I just can't get enough of you, baby. Fingers tracing down my spine, just like they were designed to. You're so good to me. So good, good, good. Know what I need. I can't believe you're so good, good to me. Never felt so understood. How can you be so good? I don't need you, I just want you. Don't have to, I just love you. I don't need you, I just want you. Don't have to, just love you. I don't need you, just want you. Don't have to, I just love you. Good to me. Oh, oh. Good, 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 good. Know what I need. I can't believe you're so good. Good to me. Never felt so understood. How can you be so good to me? Never felt so understood. How can you be so good to me?
Hmm, what an experience, Eva. What a song. What a talent you are in every way. What a thrill to have you on the show, Eva. Thank you so much. That was incredible.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been
Hell
so
yeah.
fun.
Absolutely. We look forward to catching you around Nashville. And you're gonna go on tour in the fall, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So people, what's your website again, Eva, for the tour dates?
My website is evacasselmusic.com.
There you go, guys. Make sure you get on early. Eva, thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too. See you soon.